Hello, student friends. I am Dr. Mohammed Shafee. I am working as professor in the Department of Community Medicine. I am starting this biostatistics series for my students who usually struggle to write short notes in theory exam and in solving biostatistical exercises in the practical exam. So to make it easy, this is my effort for you all. I hope that you will all like it. So these presentations will be based on the theory as well as for the practical examinations. So let us start this video series. So in this video, what we are going to learn today. So we will learn what is biostatistics, what are the types of data, and how do we present the data. So what is biostatistics? What do you understand by biostatistics? So there are two terminologies. One is bio and second is statistics. So bio means it is related with the life or life sciences, and statistics means the collection of data in the numerical form. So how we will define the biostatistics? So biostatistics is defined as the collection, compilation, presentation, and interpretation of numerical data affected by multiplicity of factors. Now coming to the types of data, there are two major types of data. Number one is qualitative data and number two is the quantitative data. So the name itself suggests qualitative means it is related to quality and quantitative means it is related to quantity of a variable. So how we are going to compare between the qualitative and quantitative data. So in case of qualitative, we have the attributes or it may be in the categorical form. Whereas in quantitative data, we have the measurements and we get the results in the numerical form or in numbers. Then qualitative data is subjective, means you can have your observation and based on that you will decide the quality. Whereas in quantitative data, it is objective and you'll find this in terms of numbers. In case of qualitative data, it is not generalizable. Whereas in quantitative data, it is generalizable. So these are the differences between qualitative and quantitative data. Coming to the qualitative data, so I already told you qualitative data is related with the quality. So it relates to the attribute like blood group, religion, gender, marital status, etc. It involves counting of individuals with given characteristics. So qualitative data will be the measurement of characteristics and not by measurement. In such data, there is no notion of magnitude. You cannot say that this much is the magnitude of the qualitative data. Take the example of the person who is dark in complexion. You cannot say how much dark he is. You cannot measure it. So it does not have the magnitude. It is text-based and it is descriptive. In this case, statistical analysis is difficult. The collection of qualitative data is by conducting interviews, written documents, or observations. Coming to the quantitative data, like examples are age, height, weight, percentage of lectures attended. These are measurement data, means you actually measure them as it involves measurement of the variable expressed numerically. Take the example of height, like my height is 166 centimeters. So you can exactly measure and express in numbers. The quantitative data have a magnitude. It is number based. So statistical analysis will be very easy. Collecting the quantitative data is by surveys, observations, experiments, and sometimes by interviews. Coming to the types of quantitative data. So there are again two types. One is continuous type of data and second is discrete type of data. So what is continuous type of quantitative data? It is like height, weight, pulse rate. So which is continuous, which can go on changing. And in case of discrete data, it is countable items like family size, number of males and females, ratios, etc. How do we do the data presentation? So once you know what are the different types of data, and when you collect the data, you need to present the data. So how we are supposed to do the data presentation? Let us see how we can do that. So coming to the presentation of data, or it is statistical data, once collected must be arranged purposefully. So why we need to present it? Because once we collect the data, it should give some purpose in order to bring out the important points clearly and strikingly. Means you have the data, but if you cannot conclude anything from that, there is no use of that data. So in that case, you have to present and come to a conclusion from the given data. Therefore, the manner in which statistical data is presented is of very importance. So there are various types of presentation of data. So what is the objective of presenting the data? To arouse the interest of the readers. You should concise it, you should present it so that readers will get the interest and they will try to read it. To reduce the complexity of the data, we got, suppose, the numbers from 1000 subjects. So if you just go on putting all these 1000 numbers from 1000 subjects, it will be very difficult to read and interpret. So you need to compile the data and then present the data to facilitate further statistical analysis. So if you compile the data, you can do the analysis, and to enable the reader to have quick impression to draw conclusion. So our aim is to draw conclusion from a particular data. That's why we need to present the data. Now coming to the types of data presentation. So there are two forms. One is tabular form and second is non-tabular form. Tabular form means we prepare a table and present the data. Whereas in non-tabular, we have various types of data presentation like histogram, frequency polygon, line chart, ogive, scatter diagram, bar diagram. Now coming to the tabular presentation. So sometimes you get a short note on tabular presentation of data in the theory exam, or sometimes they give 2 marks question to prepare a table from given data. So what are the important rules we should follow when we prepare the table? So number 1 is title of the table must be brief, clear and self-explanatory. So you need to decide about a title, and also you should give the number of the table. The headings of columns or rows should be clear and concise, because the table will have rows and columns. So each column and each row should be given a heading. Units of measurement like kilogram, centigram, centimeter, months, etc. should be given. The class or group interval between the groups should not be too broad or too narrow. So we'll see this in the example of the table. Number of groups or classes should not be too many or too few. The class interval should be identical. That we'll see in the table. Then groups should be tabulated in ascending or descending order. So we need to follow the order while preparing a table. If certain data are excluded deliberately, means you are not presenting it in the table, the reasons for same should be given. Whenever the same short forms are used, they should be fully explained at footnote. So we need to use the short form, but give the full form at the footnote of the table. Then source of the data should also be mentioned in the footnote. So these are the components of a table. So whenever you are preparing a table, you should keep all these components in your mind. So there are major 5 components of a table. So number 1, I told you that there should be a table number. Number 2, there should be a clear and concise title. Number 3, there should be body of table. Number 4, there should be footnote, and last is the source of the data. So all these you need to prepare very clearly. You can see here there are columns like year, rural, urban combined. So these are the titles or headings of the columns. Here there are no headings for the rows. Now this is the simple frequency distribution table. In the exam, they ask you to prepare a frequency distribution table from the given data. So in this case, what you have to do? You have to prepare a table in that you have to decide about the frequency, and then you have to put the tally mark for each frequency in the data given. Like one student got number of marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many number of students got 1 mark? So that you need to put the tally mark. So the method of putting tally mark is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th tally mark should be crossing all the 4. So you will come to know that these are the 5 observations, and after that 1 or 2 like this. So if a student, many students are having 2 marks, so in that case again you have to put the tally marks 1, 2, 3, 4, and then strike it by 5th line. So like this you can prepare a frequency distribution table. So in frequency distribution table, you are supposed to make a column for tally marks, and in that write down the tally marks and then make it a total and prepare the column of frequency. So like this we prepare the frequency distribution table. This is most commonly asked in practical exam. Now this is another table. So you can see here there is a table number 7.2, and the title is age distribution of the children. Now there are 2 columns. Number 1 is age group in years, that unit is given, and number 2, second column, is number of children. Now you can see here there are 5 groups of age for the children. So number 1 is 3 to 5. You can have one more column, first column, serial number. So first number will be 3 to 5. This is the group frequency. This is one group frequency. In this, the children between age group 3 to 5 years will come. Second group is 5 to 8 years. Third group is 8 to 10 years. Fourth group is 10 to 12 years. Fifth group is 12 to 15 years. But here you can see that there is one mistake over here. They have included age 5 in first group also and second group also. Likewise, age 8 years also included in group 2 and group 3, then 10 and 12. So that should not be done. It should be actually like this: 3 to 5, then 6 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 to 12, and 13 to 15. Like this, equal distribution should be included. So one age should not be included in 2 group intervals. So that should be avoided. So it will become like this: 3 to 5, 5 will not be included here. So it will be, so 3 to 5, there are 3 age groups, 3, 4, 5. So then in the next group will be 6, 7, 8. Then third group will be 9, 10, 11. Fourth group will be 12, 13, 14. Like this, we have to prepare the group interval. So group interval should not be very broad, or it should not be very short. Like this, we can prepare a age distribution of the children table.